Hello, today we discuss about the physical properties of urine. Physical properties, first we talk about the color. Color is clear yellow, that is due to the pigment urochrome present in it. Now this volume of urine what we excrete daily is 1 to 1.5 liters, but it can vary according to the diet also. Now the pH of urine, we talk about the protein diet, it makes it acidic, and the vegetable diet makes it alkaline. Now on the odor which is present, that is due to the bacterial decomposition in it, it is slightly faint color, faint odor is there, ammonia is there. But now we talk about the constituents of urine. As for the constituents of urine, now for the constituents of urine, we have 95% water and 5% solid waste. In this we have two kinds of constituents, organic and inorganic. In organic constituents we have urea, uric acid and creatinine. In inorganic constituents we have sodium chloride, potassium chloride and ammonia found in it. Now we talk about the abnormal constituents by which we can come to know certain kind of infections or disease present. Very first, if the blood cells are coming into our urine. If the blood is coming along with the urine, that is called as hematuria. Hematuria is giving us some infection in the urinary tract. UT is urinary tract, as the blood is passing along with urine. It can be due to kidney stones also. Second is if glucose is present along with urine. If glucose is present, that is called as glycosuria. That is a diabetes mellitus, a condition when excess of glucose passes along with urine. That is called as sugar diabetes. Another kind of diabetes we have in which excess of water is present, that is without any sugar, that is called as diabetes insipidus. So then we come to albumin. Albumin is due to high blood pressure, excess of proteins are broken down and they pass along with urine. Then if excess of bile pigments are given out, that means excess of RBCs are broken down. So due to loss of RBCs we have a condition as anemia. That can be in jaundice also, that can be hepatitis, and that can be indication of liver cirrhosis. Then we talk about is the gout or the kidney stones. Gout is when excess of uric acid deposits in our joints. It gives stiffening of joints, that is called as gouty arthritis. But if kidney stones are formed, that is due to excess of uric acid and the calcium oxalate crystals, they crystallize and they are found in our kidneys, that is forming the kidney stones. Now we say that this irregulation of urine, that is due to the pituitary gland, the posterior lobe of pituitary gland, in which we say that it is due to a hormone called as antidiuretic hormone, ADH, which is giving out excess of urine if it is ADH is less. So that excess of urine is giving out excess of water in it, that is called as diuresis. So that diuretics is the substances which help in increase in the urine formation as tea, coffee, alcohol. Now we say that this there is osmoregulation. Osmoregulation means the concentration of our body fluids is maintained at a normal pH level with the help of our kidneys. Excess of salts and buffers, and they are maintained at a normal level. Second we talk about is the urine excretion. That is the water concentration in summers, as we give out sweat also. So the amount of water in urine falls. So the urine is slightly thicker and the volume is less, but in winters it is dilute and there is more of, because there is no sweating. So the entire water present in the body is given out in urine only in winters. So in summers the urine is concentrated and in lesser volume, because we are giving out sweat also. So some part of the excess of water is given out in sweating. Now we talk about in cholera patients. Cholera patients is the excess of water is given out in vomitings, and as there is diarrhea and vomiting, so loose motions and vomiting, so the body is already dehydrated, so there is no water left for osmoregulation. If there is any water left, that is reabsorbed. So there is either no urination or very less urination in cholera patients. So when there is reabsorption of water to maintain osmoregulation, along with that reabsorption of water, the urea is also reabsorbed. So in cholera patients, sometimes the urea is found accumulated. That can lead to death of that patient also. So to avoid those conditions, ORS solutions or saline water injections are given, so that the excess of water is given out and the urea should be removed from the body. Yes. Now we talk about in case of dialysis, what happens when the kidney fails. That means the nephrons are damaged and the kidney is not able to form urine. So in those patients, dialysis is taken, in which the impure blood is taken out from the radial vein, that is the radial artery. It is taken out from a radial artery. This is the only artery which is superficial in our body. In our wrist, we have a radial artery. From that, the impure blood is taken out. That is put into a machine which is having coiled tube-like structures, which are surrounded with a same solution as present in our kidneys. So they will filter out the nitrogenous waste matter, and the purified blood is put back into the radial vein in the person, and that the frequency of dialysis depends upon the damage done in the kidneys. Thank you so much.